All right. Well, hey, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am Lianne Russo Liddell, Associate Broker and Realtor with Occasio Realty. And today I am here with Tommy Collins with Collins Home Sealing. He's a one-man show, so I'm really excited to learn a little bit more about what you do. I've had home sealing myself, so it's a really interesting process. And so I'm looking forward to diving into it a little bit more. So thanks again, Tommy, for joining me. And just tell me a little bit about your business and how you got started.
Well, I've been doing this for about 10 years now, sealing homes. I started my own business. It's been a couple of years now,
Okay.
and it gives me a chance to do really everything the way I want to do it.
Okay.
As far as being on my own. That's basically why I started my business is really to help just protect people's homes, keep out mostly scorpions, roof rats. Those are my two
Concerns.
major complaints. Yeah,
Yep.
major complaints I have that I focus on.
Okay.
And they're both definitely treated very differently.
Okay.
Um, yeah.
Okay. So what do you, if, roof rats and scorpions, obviously very common in the desert, roof rats, especially in the older, more citrus heavy neighborhoods,
Mhm.
what are some things that you, I guess, focus on to help with those issues?
So, really with that, the first step is going out to the house and looking at it, identifying where they're getting in,
Hmm.
whether it's through the vents on the roof or a hole in the eaves somewhere. I've found rats coming in through plumbing, under the foundation.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
First step is obviously identify them. And then my next goal at that point with roof rats or any rodents really is eliminate the pest and then seal it up for preventative future infestations.
Okay.
And that way, I've just found that if you go out there and just try to get it all sealed up right away first, what you're doing is essentially sealing everything in,
Right.
which can cause more damage to the home and everything else. So if you can find where they're coming in and out and what their food source is and hit it on from that direction. Then yeah,
Okay.
after that it's sealing everything up, whether it's going up on the roof and screening off all the vents, all the plumbing pipes, um, caulking up the holes and gaps in the eaves or where electrical panels are going in and just anywhere where they're getting in.
Okay. So it sounds like there's not really one particular location that pests
No,
come in. It really can be anywhere and anywhere they can get
no.
in.
Yeah, and every home's completely unique. It depends on how it's built. You come across the same problems in the same style houses, obviously, and especially Central Phoenix, the older part of Arcadia where it hasn't all been rebuilt. You've got all those, block homes, all
Hmm.
the brick construction. And when you get into that, you're definitely going to see similarities, but yeah, every house is completely unique. So it's
Okay.
not a blanket, yeah, here's what we're going to do today,
Hmm.
it's,
Hmm.
uh,
Now, is there a good time of year to do sealing? Like I know particularly like scorpions, right? They're generally more of like a summer, they're out and about in the summer. Would you suggest getting something sealed in the summer, or is it better to do it when they're less like active?
really, they're as far as asking for a best time to do it, really, it's always sooner the better. Really, if you're
I
doing
agree
it
with
for,
that.
if it's preventative, like why wait until you have a big problem to do it?
Hmm.
Um, as far as especially sealing for scorpions, for example, they're coming through the same areas that a lot of the other insects, which would be, your crickets and cockroaches and everything else. So there's not a bad time to do it. Um, when it's not July and August and the weather's cooler, I prefer to do it, other times of the
Obviously,
year. But
sure.
yeah, you do it typically when you need it. But really, as a preventative measure, we seal every house I've been in that we've lived in. I just come in and seal it before we move in.
Okay,
If the place is vacant,
even better.
it's so much easier to go through, you're just closed on the house and you're about to have all this stuff done, it's easy to have me come out and be able to get to everything. And then there's
Sure.
not the clutter in the way, and
Right. Stuff in the garage,
yeah, yeah,
whatever. Okay. Okay. Very cool. Good to know as well on the vacant piece. Uh,
yeah.
cool. So, I mean, in your opinion, because scorpions, that's always a problem that I hear, especially from my clients. Hey, we have a lot of
Hmm.
scorpions or we have a lot of bugs going on. Do you recommend, doing a home sealing and then like maybe maintaining with like a pest control, or do you not think that that
Yeah.
really
No,
is going to help?
you definitely need a combination of the both. Like, so the home ceiling alone, I mean, it's really going to slow things down a lot. But if you're not doing any sort of pest control on top of it, stuff is going to get in, and
Sure.
the yard's going to be littered with. I mean, it's going to be hard to enjoy even the outdoors.
Mm-hmm.
Where if you continue on the monthly maintenance with the pest control,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it makes a huge difference. And then the flip side of that is if you're only doing the pest control, a lot of times with a lot of houses that can take care of your problem, just spraying. But when you're dealing with scorpions, spraying alone without sealing, you're still going to find scorpions in the house because there's really not products that are out there that are going to be instant and have residual effects to
Sure.
keep the scorpions away. So even if you're going around and spraying it, they've still got time to get into areas, come into the doors, and that's typically when you might see them inside the doorway in the middle of the day.
Mm-hmm.
If
Mm-hmm.
you're seeing them during the middle of the day, like the pest control is working, it's just not quite where you want it.
Sure.
Or if you do them in the combination, it makes a huge difference. And then it also cuts down on having to have any chemicals inside the house.
Sure.
But
Sure.
typically, when it doesn't really matter how bad the problem may be, if I go in and seal a house inside and out, and then I treat the inside of it with an insecticide once, that's usually about all that it needs.
Okay.
And then everything else, then it's just going around the outside of the house, maintaining it, keeping up those barriers. That way, anything that's coming across it, say I'm spraying around your house and then I'm also spraying around the perimeter of the property.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that's coming into the property's got to get through that first barrier, and it
Right.
will. I mean, because it's not instant.
Mm-hmm.
And then it gets up to the house, say, and then you've got another barrier. So even if somehow it gets past all of that, then the house is also completely sealed. So finding an entry point becomes, rare, very unlikely.
Mm-hmm. Now, how often do you think people need to get their house sealed? Like if they do it once, does it need to be, something that's like maintained?
Yeah, so what I typically do is seal a home, and then I recommend an annual checkup on it.
Okay.
So one of the big parts of sealing a home is going to be your doors.
Right.
Well, with those doors, all the weather stripping that's going to be on those, are mainly the door sweeps on the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Those should be adjusted where they're nice and tight. You shouldn't be seeing any daylight coming through the doors at all. Uh, so you want it tight but still usable.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's friction on that. So every time you open and close those
Right. It's
doors,
gonna erode
those,
that.
those door sweeps start to get worn out.
Mm-hmm.
So even just doing an annual checkup on it, you get to replace those door sweeps. Any remodeling that may have been done on the house, say you decided to change out a couple of pendant lights above an island for some can lights, I can come back, reseal all that at that time.
Okay.
A lot of times people switch out outlets over the years and
Mm-hmm.
say put in a dimmer, or
Mm-hmm.
they move plumbing and do a double vanity. So now they've opened up, other areas that
Sure.
do need
Sure.
to be sealed. So I would say once you're sealed, if you keep up on it annually,
Okay.
you should be in good shape.
Okay. Cool. That's very informative. So thank you for sharing all that with me. Um, what are some of, your goals for the next year with your business?
Well, I don't know. I just, keep on working. I mean, I don't have a set amount of, you know, clients I want to get. For me, it's as it goes. I
Mm-hmm.
don't do a lot of advertising. It's really
Word of mouth.
referrals, word of mouth, um, that next door app. A lot of people end up posting reviews on there, and so
Yeah.
for me, my goals are to help out really anybody that needs help. I mean, if you're having stuff living in your house that you don't want to be there, my goal is to keep all that stuff out.
Awesome. Well, I know that that will be appreciated by a lot of people. And I'm excited to share your information again with
I
just a lot of my
appreciate it.
clients and a lot of my network, because that always comes up of, scorpions, roof rats, lots of crickets, but it's
Hmm.
predominantly scorpions.
Yeah,
Uh,
and scorpions are the one. Scorpions and rats are the two that they're like, I need this done now.
right, because,
Everybody
they're
else,
creepy and yeah,
they're
I
like,
get
yeah,
it.
this is inconvenient. And every once in a while, we see a spider, and
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, if that's your situation, you probably don't need to go as far as doing home sealing. I think, if you're dealing with a few crickets and a few spiders here and there, pest control's where it's at.
Sure, sure.
But and then even for the people that just do not want pest control, and some people can't have it, whether it be
Sure.
health issues, and stuff like that. That's another place where home sealing is really the way to go, like the only way to go.
Mm-hmm.
As far as keeping stuff out without, any sort of insecticides.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Cool. Well, I appreciate you sharing all that.
Mhm.
On more of a personal note, what are some things that you like to do when you're not working? What are some things you like to do in the neighborhood?
Well, I was there for a while. I was doing a lot of music, so just playing music. I'm a musician.
Okay. I
Um,
see the guitars in the background.
yeah, yeah. So obviously before, March, I was doing a lot of playing. So I'd play, uh, there was the Irene's Tap Room. I'd do shows. It's right
Yep,
there in the
yep,
neighborhood.
yep.
Uh, I was doing a lot of stuff at the Rhythm Room there for a while. Yeah, so for me, it was music. There's a lot of music close by, a lot of music I could go see, a lot of music I could go play.
Sure.
Um, yeah, so it's a great centrally located neighborhood. I mean, there's always something to do. Yeah, whether it's
Absolutely.
yeah, riding bike,
Absolutely.
walking the canal,
Yep. Place to
all of that.
eat. Yeah. Go to
Yeah.
a show, whatever.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, cool. Um, is there anything like exciting or coming up that you want people to know about in regards to your business?
Um, I mean, I think everything's really just as normal as it can be right now. It's cooling off, so hopefully you should be seeing less scorpions.
Yep.
Unfortunately, roof rats do pick up this time of year. I
Okay.
think,
So they
I think,
alternate. Sweet.
yeah, they really do. And I would say, as far as everybody out there watching, as far as what's coming up, is people are starting to get their holiday stuff out and starting to decorate. So my key there is just be careful what you're bringing into your house. A lot of times you're
That's a
storing
good point.
stuff in your attic or in your
In your
garage,
garage.
oftentimes in cardboard boxes. So
Mm,
that stuff, like especially scorpions, like to live in those areas. So as
okay.
as you're decorating for the holidays, just be careful,
Okay.
keep
Good to
your
know.
eyes out, and enjoy the holidays.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Tommy, so much for speaking with me. Once again, I'm Lianne Russo Liddell, Associate Broker and Realtor with Occasio Realty, and I had the pleasure of speaking with Tommy Collins from Collins Home Sealing. And all of Tommy's information and links to all of his websites and contact information is going to be below in this interview. So please feel free to reach out to him with any questions you might have, and take advantage of his awesome expertise. So thanks so much for joining me, Tommy.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Bye.